Hello everyone. I'm Bruno. I'm network architect at Axians C&S Marseille for 9 years. I'm specialized in data center technologies, and more recently I'm interested in all kind of automation tools and solutions. So I'm sorry for my English. I'm French, but I'm also from Marseille, so it's very hard to speak English when you with a good accent. So be tolerant.
I'm good.
What I want to share with you is my vision, and it's not. I think it's my point of view and nothing else. I want to share with you our evolution in NetDevOps at Axians Marseille for the 5 last year. So I begin with this. Before NetDevOps, we had some network experts like CCIE, using CLI to configure devices on a device-by-device basis paradigm. But these guys are the only one who knows the technologies, and even when they were in holidays, yeah, I know that you know what I say. Nobody else can troubleshoot what CCIE have done. Okay, so it's a distributed configuration. You can have concurrently configuration. It's sequential. You have to enter line by line, like a Python script. Sequential, not like a function or class. It's very complex, and we wanted to stay complex because it was our technical skills, so it was very complex, and there is no capitalization because when CCIE worked on a project, I say a very difficult project like multicast over MPLS, this kind of thing. At the moment, it's an expert, but 2 months later, you forget what you've done and how you can configure this technology. So you have the template in mind, but you didn't remember how you can make comments to configure this kind of features. It's technology based. We don't talk about business here. It's really technology and network technology. So after that, we began to talk about SDN. SDN was a very good project with a lot of good wishes, but at the end, I don't know if you agree with me, what we can retain of SDN is just automation and monitoring. We talked about segmentation of the control plane in a box and some other stuff like this with open flow protocol, and now, because I think of the hardware vendor, we are on just automation and monitoring. And it's now SDX. We talk about SDNC. So some networking guy tried to use Python because it was a really simple language. They were thinking that that was a very simple language, but they tried to automate with Python scripting. But when I say Python scripting, it was scripting at the beginning of the Python learning. It's not with object or function. It's just poor code. So this code were not reusable, because when you have a new use case, you have to customize your code, and it's not reusable, not exported. You can tell to your friends, okay, you can try to automate with my script because it's very personal, and you have your compression of your code. So there is no input data validation because because of lack of knowledge about Python, because there is a lot of library, but at the beginning you don't know that it exists. No inventory management. When you have to manage multiple devices, you don't have some host file like in Ansible or something like that. It's complex because we have to learn a language, and we are not developer, we're just network guy. So the script was run on the laptop of the creator of the script developer, you know. And we are in the technology path. We just have moved the difficulty, the complexity in the code, you know. I don't know if you remember the first demonstration in Cisco Live, where we have a guy during 1 hour saying, "Well, it's wonderful," and at the end you just set a hosting, you know. So it was not very cool, and some old guy said, "Okay, I can do this with Perl," and okay, we know this stuff. So in NetDevOps 2.0, we began to look for a tool, and we talked to the system guys, and they have Ansible to manage their Linux servers. So, okay, it's a very cool tool. I use it, I like it. Yes, there is reusable playbooks, like Jeremy shows you. Input data validation with Jinja filter, some Python filter. We can have not Python but Ansible filter. You have an inventory management, but it's host file, and it's not very friendly. You know, it's good for us, but not for our customers. You know? So it's complex. You can say it's not complex, but Ansible has a DSL, a domain-specific language, and it's a Python tool, but you can use what you know in Python. So you have to relearn a language. So it's not so easy. And when you begin to have a complex project, it's really hard, because you use the conditional in Jinja and sometimes in Ansible, and it's very hard for someone who is not developer. So the playbooks was run, you know, we don't know where. Maybe on a server, maybe on your laptop, but it's not central. You can have a server, but we are not Linux guy. Even if we love the technology and we are networking guy, we are not system guy. We don't use to have some file on a Linux machine and have to go to the Linux machine to execute some template. And it's technology based. For me, we are here with tools for us, Axians, for implement new feature, for the first deployment, for implementation, you know. But with my experience, when I made some project with automation and with Ansible on large data center, you know, okay, the clients, the customers say, "Wow, it's very cool," but 2 months later, the tools were forget, because okay, I don't remember how to set a variable in Ansible. Okay, go in SSH and configure it yourself, and after that, the tools were forget. So we began more expert in development, and we tried to find a way to have a very good way to develop application tools for our customers. I talk about some tools to manage and to monitor and to automate on the daily task. You know, it's a day 2, okay? And we began to look for the new way of making a web services, and web application was the answer. So it's reusable. Input data validation, because you have a lot of library in your language to validate what you want the customer to enter in the script, you know. You have an inventory management. We talk about single source of truth, and I think it's the most important component in automation today. So, component like NetBox. I don't know if you know NetBox. It's a DigitalOcean DCIM plus IPAM. You know, so it's a very good tool to have an inventory and where you can store all your infrastructure items. You know. So it's simple because if you know all application or web application, you can use it with forms to enter that variable. You execute from a web server, so it's centrally, and you can have on your laptop, your smartphone if you want. So it's a very good way to have an application. And it's business based, and for me it's more important. Why we want to make automation? For us is to accelerate some deployments, but I think we have to think about business operational teams. They want infrastructure as simple as possible. So they don't want to know if segmentation is equal to VRF, VLAN, some stuff like this. They just have to say, I want segmentation. You know? And the complexity is moved on the application. You know? So for this, one of the biggest mistakes we are doing when we want to use NetDevOps is to imagine an IT world with only developers. For me, it's a critical mistake. You know, because I'm convinced that not every people would like to be a dev, you know, and I think we can work together, but more efficiently, you know, by asking to the real experts, the business experts, business operational teams, what they want, you know, we used to develop application by ourselves, and we try to imagine what is the business task, the daily business task for the operational teams. So we have to listen to the operational teams, and we can develop the abstract layer they want with a lot of automation under. You know. So for that, we change job. It's not the same job. We have to listen to the business. So how can we have some requirements from the customers and from the real user of the application? So I've done some research, and I find a very interesting method which is called design sprint. So design sprint is at the beginning we can think about design thinking to do this kind of collect of requirements, you know. But design thinking is a long process, and it's not as quickly as we want. We are we say integrator, yeah. We are integrator, and we have some project in a few days, you know. So we have to have a real idea of what the application looks like, you know. So sprint design is a 5-day time-boxed method with developers, executive people. You can have it's important to include the operational teams, you know, and the user. Yeah. So the first time on Monday, you have to size what is the problem, what issue you can resolve with an application on a business. You know, on Tuesday, I don't have time to details, but on Tuesday you have to sketch some solution. You know, every people can talk about a solution for the problem On Wednesday, we have to decide what solution we can make we can implement. And on Thursday, we have to prototype. And the prototype is not, the real product, but you can have like a slide to represent your interface. You can have marketing document that describe the features you want to propose to the customer. And on Friday, you have a test with real user. So you have the feedback, and in 5 days, you know if if your application is viable or not. It's Google Venture, Jack Knapp, who use this method to help startup. They come to the startup and then say, okay, it's free, but we have part of your company. So we have an interest that your idea was a good idea. So in 5 days, okay, it's viable or not. Because if you wait 6 months, sometimes you don't have money to continue your activity. Okay, so it's a really good method. Honestly, we don't use it yet, but we propose this kind of method to help our customers to find the real needs of their business application. Okay. After that, we have the idea, we have the requirement. So, how can we develop? So, we are not new, and we just want to have some agility. So, we use Scrum framework, and it's not the goal of the session to detail you the function of Scrum framework, but it's really interesting because we, as network engineer, we used to have a lot of documentation, high-level design, low-level design. And sometimes some company can take 6 months to decide the low-level design is okay. But at the end, the project is nothing to do with the low-level design. You know what I mean? And it's just a waste of time, loss of time, So I think the idea of Scrum framework, even if we can't use it like the developers, we can have some idea and try to play with this. So I just want to show you how we try to use it to sell application to our customers. We try to sell. We are Axians, and you know that research and development is not an option. So we have to make it more bankable. So how can we sell application to our customers without have time to develop? So we need some developer. We can do this without a developer, but customers want a new application to monitor or automate their network. They call the salesman at Axians. Okay, so he collects the new ID, and we have a project backlog with some features that we want to develop in some kind of application for our customer in the project backlog. And it's a list of products where everybody can put everything, an ID, an epic. Epic is a large ID, so for now, the sales have just an epic because he doesn't know what he has to say. Okay, so if the demand of the customer, if we already have all the pieces of the puzzle, we can just customize a little bit the application and sell it to the customer. For sure, we are not forced to say to the customers that we already have this piece of puzzle. If there is just one new feature, so we have to refine these features to make it smaller and to put it in the sprint backlog. Sprint backlog is just the list of tasks we have to do in a sprint. In a sprint, it's an iteration, a time-boxed iteration, and the developer has to develop the new application for the customer. We want to use the term of enterprise continuum is in the TOGAF, you know, it's a large enterprise architecture framework, and it's difficult, but there is some kind of good advice. So we have already some feature and the base SDK, and I think we can have an SDK for the Axians, and it will be good that we have a SDK to not reinvent the wheel, you know. So developer takes the best SDK and develop a new application for the customer. So the customer is happy and say, okay, the product is good for me. So you have a sprint review, because the sprint review is you have a product owner. It's one of the roles of the Scrum framework. The product owner presents the new product to the customers. And it's important that it's not developer that presents the product, because developer, you know, have their language, and it's okay, it's work, okay. Or it's a bug, but it's not important. So when it's, I think about salespeople presenting application, you have to do this application user friendly. So you have a good appreciation of the application, and as soon as you finish the project, you have to make it generic. You know, the new feature is added to the enterprise continuum, and after that, salespeople can go back to the customer, other customer, and say, okay, we can sell another feature. We have a new feature for your application. You know. So this is my point of view. Here's some example of design of application we can make for our customer. We have some projects with this kind of architecture. So you can have some discovery tools, because I really like these tools. NetBox is really a good source of tools for me. So but it's just a database, you know. So if you want to add existing devices, you have to have some scripts with Ansible, Python, NAPAL to collect the existing devices and to populate the NetBox database, you know. Neo4j is a really good graph DB, you know. You can modelize everything with this, and I think it's a really good product for networking guy. I can show you if you want after that. So Neo4j is just for protocol representation. I will show you a video on a customer. I have modelized BGP, OSPF with metric on the link, and this is easy with this kind of database. You know. You have the real application here, orchestrator, you know, and it's whatever we can do, whatever we want. So we have the front end with Java or Django if we prefer Python. And the important part is here, where we can have some microservices. I think about Flask applications with just the, you know, we can have technology features, but we can have also business features. Imagine for the hospital or industrial networking, you know. And we have communication in API with this kind of database. After that, the application can take the inventory here and make the automation with all the configuration tools. And I include the Cisco tools, because for me, Cisco has a really good product, but it's for us. It's not for the customer. I don't know if you know ACI. 2 minutes, okay. ACI is really, really hard to understand for a customer. You know, this is really technical. So we can make a good application with an abstraction layer, and you have just a source of truth here and not in this product. So VXLAN and all the infrastructure variables that you have is here, okay? And you can automate all this kind of things. Okay, I finished. I have just a very good link. I don't know if you know this link. It's a very good link. You have all the projects in Python and automation tools like GoBGP. I don't know if you know. There is a lot of tools in open source and library, and it's very good link. So I use it often. That's all.